Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with the Haydn Symphony Crusade. And we're up to Symphony number 90. Holy Moses, number 90. It's in C major. It's the last major Haydn symphony that has, or C major, no, it's Haydn symphony, that has horns in high C. After that, they're in low C. So the whole piece has a brassy sort of brilliance that's really, really exceptional. And he's using these horns with great freedom and enthusiasm, along with trumpets and timpani. These three symphonies, 90, 91, and 92, really should be called the Paris Symphonies' second set, because they were written for Paris, just like the six Paris symphonies, numbers 82 through 87. 88 and 89 intervened. But these three were definitely written for Paris, and they are just as brilliant as the previous set and just as brilliant as the subsequent London symphonies. I mean, they are amazing, amazing pieces, and they are strongly, seriously neglected, with the exception of 92, which is the Oxford Symphony. Subtitled Oxford. Though it was written for Paris, it was performed at Oxford during Haydn's honorary doctorate ceremony, so it got that nickname. But none of these have nicknames otherwise, these 90 and 91, which is maybe why they're neglected. They are masterpieces, huge, screaming, amazing masterpieces. I am not kidding. And this one particularly, I talked about the first movement. I wrote about it in my book on Haydn, because it is, oh my God, is it brilliant. I mean, beyond being brilliant, there is so much to talk about. It is so amazingly put together and so expressively powerful and wide-ranging in what it does. It's just mind-blowing. It really is. So let's get right to it. The symphony begins with an introduction. And what we're going to do is we're going to hear a little bit of that, and then I'm going to play you the entire introduction and exposition together with the lead back to the exposition repeat, which is particularly marvelous here, actually, the way Haydn does it. And you'll get to hear that. And then we'll make a few points about what we've heard, so that you get a sense of it. I just can't even begin to describe. Well, I have to begin to describe. I'm going to describe just how much content there is in this piece. It's really amazing. So there's a sort of opening that just goes ta-da, like that, a loud opening. And then, thanks to the Austro-Hungarian Haydn Orchestra under Adam Fischer, you hear this. So, plonk, 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 da 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 dum, bum, bum, ba da 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 dum. All right, that's it, right? From this, the entire symphony grows. From little acorns, mighty oak trees grow. And this is really an oak tree of a symphony that grows from these little acorns. So what observations can we make about what we just heard? This is the thing, because you've got to keep in mind all of the things that Haydn gets out of this. First, blump, 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 like that. We have two-note sniglets, right? They're just little two-note sniglets. That's one of the main ideas that Haydn is going to work with throughout the entire symphony. Then, for the first movement particularly, there is the dynamic. Soft, soft, loud, right? Blunk, 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 bump, bump. So they're two-note sniglets. Wait a minute now. Oh, yay. Okay, well, there she is. She can't resist the Haydn Symphony Crusade, can you? I know, it's amazing, isn't it? Okay, so anyway, we're gonna do this. This is serious business, Finster. It really is. So you've got two-note sniglets, in 3 groups: soft, soft, loud. That idea, that dynamic pattern, is going to pop up at certain important spots. And then you have what sounds like a themelet. It actually sounds like an ending. Da 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 da. It's an ending, but it's the beginning. Actually, it's the first subject of the first movement, or it's going to become that. Speed it up. Haydn just speeds it up exactly the way we heard it. And so I want to now play you the entire introduction, and I want you to keep in mind soft, soft, loud, 2-note sniglets, which are developed throughout the introduction. It's a short introduction. And then the little closing theme, which is actually the opening theme. It's a joke. Get it? He's trying to have a little fun at our expense because it sounds like it's going to end with that, but it doesn't. It begins with it. All right. So, introduction and exposition. Here you go. Now, isn't it great the way Haydn gets the lead back going? Just the repeated notes. Now, one of the things you may have noticed is that the first subject has an ABA pattern. It's the closing theme, and then 2 7-note squiggles and a loud outbursts in the pattern soft, soft, loud. Ya-da-da-da-da-da-dum. Ya-da-da-da-da-da-dum. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then it repeats the close, the ending. Da-da-da-da-da-da-dum, bum, bum, ba-da-da-da-da. And then it's off to the motion music, taking us to the second subject. And that second subject is also rather significant. because the second subject, which is a beautiful flute melody, remember? Did you notice anything about that? It's ya da 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 da. 2-note sniglets. Da 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 ba da ba da ba da ba da da ba ba ba. See, it's a 2-note little sniglet thing from the introduction, so it uses those two. But there's something even better, because that second subject is accompanied by the 7-note squiggle. Da 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 da. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So while we hear the second subject, which is a completely new theme, although it incorporates the 2-note sniglets from the introduction, it also is accompanied by the 7-note squiggles from the first subject. So it's sniglets and squiggles and a new theme all at once. So I'm going to play this for you because I don't want to make you crazy with me, especially with me singing it. Here are the 7-note squiggles. And then after a little pause, the second subject will hear the accompaniment of 7-note squiggles plus 2-note sniglets in the theme itself. Here you go. So you can see that although this is not a monothematic movement, that is, it's not all based on the same theme, it sort of is, because although the melody is totally different for the second subject, it's surrounded by elements of the introduction and the first subject, and it really doesn't make a lot of sense to think about sonata form, as we've been talking about with the exposition and the development and the recapitulation and all of that stuff. It doesn't make a lot of sense to talk about that when you're dealing with a composer like Haydn, who is developing the music from the very opening. I mean, really, from the first bar, the piece begins to evolve, and these ideas begin to proliferate and interact with each other and do all kinds of nifty things like that. So here, and then wait a minute. We did that. Okay, so we did the squiggle thing. And now there's the coda of the whole movement. I mean, there's a fabulous development section and a truncated recapitulation, which is going to, because there's so many similar shared motives, Haydn doesn't feel he needs to make a bit simis, as we say in Yiddish, a big mixture of things, getting to the second subject of the recap. It's very abbreviated. And that will be significant later, by the way, in the finale. And the end is just wonderful. The end is wonderful because it ends with the ending, which is the first subject, which is really the beginning. But now, finally, at last, after the whole movement, it's actually the ending, sort of. You think it's the ending. Finally, you get to the end. It's da 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 da. But then the actual ending, soft, soft, loud. 7-note squiggle and a final bang outburst. And all of that derives from the simple plunk, 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 plunk from the introduction. Oh, gosh, here's the coda. Makes me sweat, I'm telling you. Even Finster over here is looking at me like I'm crazy. Yeah. Doesn't it? You think I'm crazy? Do you? Okay, fine. Anyway, so that's the first movement, and you have to just listen to the whole thing. I mean, the development is amazing, but that little 7-note squiggle, it has personality. I mean, it takes a zillion different shapes and a zillion different harmonizations, and it's a character. It's a real character. All of these motives are. I don't know. There's something about this movement that has so much so much life. It's so much narrative drama to it. I mean, there's these different shapes and melodies. They're all interacting with each other, and oh gosh, it's amazing, just amazing. Now, the slow movement. The slow movement is a theme and variations. In Haydn's now patented variations on two alternating themes, one major, one minor, which became the source of a bazillion movements afterwards, from everyone from Beethoven to Bruckner to Mahler. They all did this. And Haydn was the guy who invented it. Now, the opening theme, as you may have guessed, is going to have two-note sniglets. Lots of two-note sniglets. And I'm going to play it for you now with, I think, do I have a bit of the second subject, just so you get a sense of how it relates, because the second subject is where these da-dum-ba-dum-ba-dum-ba, that kind of second subject, I mean, that kind of two-note sniglet, and that's what the main theme of this movement does. It's based almost entirely, or a lot, on that idea of these rising two-note sniglets. Sometimes they go up, sometimes they go down, but they're very, very recognizable as related to each other. So I'm going to play the whole theme that will be the subject of the variations. And the variations are just delicious. They're wonderful, full of fabulous woodwind writing, and there's bassoon solos, and all kinds of amazing stuff. But I want you to just pay attention to those little two-note thingies so you get a sense of how Haydn is creating these wonderfully individualized melodies from familiar elements. I mean, that's the point. So here it is. So, two-note swiggles, sniglets. Yum, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, ba, right? And that comes right from the second subject, which comes right from the introduction to the whole symphony. So Haydn is making his movements cohere into an organic continuum. Now I want to play you the minor key. The minor key theme is a variant of the first theme, actually, but it's really dark and really pathetic. It has, especially the end of the theme, it really is, it does that. Really, really remarkable. It's an extraordinary passage. We hear it twice. It gets varied, actually. It comes back another time. I find this music incredibly moving. I really do. And people who think that Haydn is somewhat cool and not, emotional or expressive, listen to this. And of course, the beauty is the contrast between the two. A somewhat jolly first theme, and this very, very dark and turbulent second theme, which is marvelous. And then I have to play you the coda. The coda of the whole, this whole symphony is full of like wonderful codas that all do like special things in at least three of its movements. there is a key change, which I'm going to play, which you will hear, that just is phenomenal. It really is. It just moves the whole thing into another plane of existence. Here is the coda to the second movement. Wow, somebody borrowed that somewhere. I'm not sure where. When I first heard it, I said to myself, I've heard that before. Some other composer, something. I've never been able to pin it down. But what an amazing passage. And so that's the second movement, a remarkable symphony. Now, the Minuet is an orgy of two-note sniglets. I mean, the whole thing it really is just amazing how Haydn is building things out of these little two-note sniglets from the introduction. It's also a curiously compelling minuet in the sense that it's not danceable. There is nothing danceable about this minuet. It's not because the rhythms are tricky. It's because it has an emotional depth, almost an ambivalence. It doesn't know whether it's happy or sad or nostalgic. It has this wonderful, wonderful quality that you wouldn't want to dance to it. You want to just listen. You want to just take it in and sort of bathe in its emotional ambience. So here is the entire minuet without repeats. And the trio section, the middle section, also has two-note sniglets, by the way. Not so many. See, Haydn, I just have to say, Haydn doesn't do this to the point of monotony. He doesn't make it dreary and miserable, like, oh, God, more two-note sniglets or whatever, squiggles or whatever they are, He doesn't do it that way. He creates new ideas out of these small elements. But I point them out because how he does that is what makes this so interesting. You notice the elements in passing. You don't have to say, oh, it's the same thing we've just heard, because it isn't. The tunes are completely different, totally original to each movement, and expressively specific to each movement, but you understand that they are part of a family. They all go together. So here is the complete minuet. Which brings us to the finale. Now, the finale is a huge summary of everything that's come before, but it's also light and breezy and funny. And, it's only like 4 minutes long. It's really, really, really cool. It is in monothematic sonata form. The first subject is da dum bum ba da dum ba da 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 dum bum ba da dum, like that. Bum ba da da da, something like that. It's close enough. The second subject is the same as the first, except it has a fanfare and a march rhythm attached to it. It's da dum bum ba da dum bum. Then the brass come crashing in. Yum ba da dum bum bum ba da dum bum bum ba da dum bum bum ba da dum bum ba. And it goes off like very happily. That's the only new element, but it's based on the first theme. Now, what you need to know about that first theme is that it is in itself a development, a variant of the very opening gesture. Blum, blum. No. Yeah, da, da, ba, ba. And just think, yeah, dum, bum, ba, da, dum. Like that. You hear it? They're all based on each other. In fact, that closing, the ending that's the beginning, ya da 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 dum bum bum, ya da 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 dum, is also yum bum 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 dum bum. They're all related, and the finale is. I think it's particularly clear once I pointed out that little, group of 6 2-note sniglets is the outline of the shape of the theme of the finale. So I want to play you the entire exposition. And I want you to pay attention not just to the thematic material, the first and second subjects and the fanfare, but also there's like a whirlwind at the end, like that at the end of the exposition. That's going to be very important, believe it or not. We are not done yet. So here is the exposition of the finale. Fabulous, exciting, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And I have made a little comparison of the 2 whirlwinds from the first movement and the last movement. So you get a sense of them. They're not the same. It's this Haydn. Nothing's quite the same, but the concept is the same. The idea is the same. Do you remember the whirlwind from the first movement? I didn't talk about it at all. It's a bunch of scales going like that. It's a whirlwind. And there's one in the finale too. And I'm going to play you the one that happens closer to the end of the finale so you get the identity. I put a little pause between them. Here are the 2 whirlwinds from the first movement and the finale. So you see, by doing things like this, Haydn is telling us that this finale belongs to this symphony. It's related. It's related to the first movement. Even though the thematic material may be a little bit different, they're all somehow related. And the more you listen to it, the more frequently you listen to it, and the better you get to know it, the more these connections will become evident. That's what's so cool about it. Now, okay, there's one more thing we need to do, because this symphony plays a major trick on us at the end, at the very end. The exposition of the finale is about 1 minute and 10 seconds long. The recapitulation is 20 seconds long, which is like, whoa, wait a minute, what happened to all the music? Well, because it's a monothematic movement, it's all based on the same theme, Haydn doesn't need to repeat it to give us, the full dose of recapitulation melody. He only has to do it once, and it's a quick tune, right? That's all he needs to do. And actually, he's only working with the first bit of it mostly. Like that. So it's really, really, really easy for Haydn to truncate it. And when he does truncate it, he pulls one of his fake endings. It just goes dum ba dum bum ba dum ba dum bum bum, and then it's like, uh-oh, it's over, but it isn't. There's a huge coda, a big, long wrap-up that has more development, more recapitulation, the big whirlwind we just heard, 2-note sniglets in various spots. It's like a summing up of the entire symphony. It's really, really kind of remarkable. It is. So I'm going to now play. I want to do a couple things now, just to try and, summarize this whole thing. We're going to listen once again to the exposition and the recapitulation after a little pause. So it's like 1 minute and 10 seconds of expo, like 20 seconds of recapitulation, and then the music comes to a stop. Here it is. Yes, start applauding. No, stop applauding. It's not over. It's not over. We get the coda, the jolly coda, where the orchestra seems to think, oh, didn't we just end? Why are we still going? What's happening? What's going on? It just takes a little while to get its bearings. And then off we go to the whirlwind ending. unbelievable, isn't it? Just amazing. And actually, another nifty point is that the development section of the finale makes almost no use of the main theme. It's all about the whirlwind, which not only makes it an incredibly exciting finale, it is another example of how Haydn does not want to use his material to the point of monotony. He's always doing something new, while at the same time reminding us of just how cogently related everything is. What a symphony this is. The next three, you're going to, 91, which nobody knows, is also amazing and very different from this one. So I just hope you've enjoyed this as much as I enjoy talking about it. I know I'm a little spastic when it comes to this symphony, but it's such a great piece, and it never gets played. Just blows my mind. Anyway, keep on listening, friends. Thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you shortly with number 91.